What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, on this video, we'll be doing a live stream for a question 2 that was actually written last block. So, I hope you guys are ready for this. So, this is the question paper from Vhembe College and Capricorn. So, if you have people from Vhembe and Capricorn. This is the previous question paper for test 2. You can like the video. If you're not the member, you cannot comment. But as for the member, you can comment, guys. I'm waiting for your comments before we start. I really appreciate it if you comment there on the chats, and then we're gonna start with this question. So what we're going to do here, we're going to do question 1 of this question today, and then tomorrow we're going to do question 2, and then if that question 2 is short, we're going to do question 3 as well. But if it's not, then on Saturday we're going to do question 3. Then next week we're going to revise the common paper from Free State and Gauteng. So we have different type of common papers here. So usually we do for Gauteng and Free State. So this is new, but it doesn't matter, guys. At the end of the day, maths is maths. Then you will see as we are solving this, you will realize that we are actually doing the very same math. So this is for mathematics and for. So this question paper, actually it was selected by one of the members. Remember, when you are a member, you can always give me a question paper so we can try it online. But if you're not a member, you can only watch, guys, and like the video, and you can always share the video as well. If you want to be a member, click the join button underneath them. You can able to comment, and also you can able to uh, suggest a question paper on our WhatsApp group. Right, so I'm still waiting for the members. Can you comment there on the live stream that you are here, so that we can start with this question paper? Right, so as you can see, this question paper here, like I said, it's from Vhembe College and Capricorn College. It was a common paper, and also a national certificate for N4s. So this was test 2, 2025. I think this was trimester 2 as well. They wrote paper number 2, but I think this was trimester 2. So it was 1 hour 30 minutes. So let's look at the first question. So this is question 1 that we will be doing, right? So I'm waiting for our members. Where are you? Comment there on the live stream, guys. Are you here? Are you here? And as well, I would like to know if you can see the screen there. So here is our question 1 there. Now, this question 1 is based on differentiation and calculus. So it's different from Free State and Gauteng. Here they have question 1 as the calculus and differentiation. Okay, so I'm gonna continue, guys. Right? Thank you, Lidwaba, for commenting. So meaning we're gonna continue. All right, people. So let's look at question 1. Right? Let's look at question 1. Let's read the question 1 there of this question here. So question 1 goes like this. Well, it's question 1.1. All of this is question 1, by the way. It says differentiate y sec 4x using function of a function, or inside the bracket chain rule. So if you are a member of this channel, or if you've watched some of the videos, we already done chain rule. So chain rule, you use the function of a function formula. I'm gonna show you the formula, guys. So let me first write this equation here, 1.1. So 1.1, right? So let me zoom down a bit, guys. Let me zoom down a bit. Let me know if you cannot see, and also let me know if you can hear clearly there on the live chat. So 1.1. So we are given sec, let's go, y is equaling to sec 4x. So they want us to use chain rule or function of a function, right? So function of a function and chain rule is one and the same thing. Now there is a formula that you need to know when you use this. So let me go to the formula sheet and show you which formula you're supposed to use here. Right. So here's our formula sheet here. I'm gonna show you the formula for chain rule. Right. So the formula for chain rule, guys. Let me find something to write with. All right. The formula for chain rule is this one here. First, it's where is it? Or is this one here? Right. Let me just go down. Just go down a bit there. There we go. The formula for chain rule is this one here. Right. There we go. First, you have to name, or you have to find the function that is within the function. So let's go back before we use this formula. But don't forget this formula. We're going to use it when we do the chain rule. Now let's go back to our canvas there. So as you can see, this, you can do it this way. For x, we can say it's a inner function. And then we have, I'm going to use green for the outer. And then sec 4x, the whole of sec 4x is an outer function. So remember, when you do the chain rule, guys, you have the inner function and the outer function. So the inner function, you equate it to u, which is going to be 4x, right? And then the outer function, which I'm going to highlight with green there, you're going to write, you equate it to y because it's all equaling to y. But this time around, you're just going to write sec, right? Instead of writing this 4x, right? You're going to write u because u is equaling to 4x. So you're going to write u there. So you're going to write u there. And then from there, you start differentiating, right? So let's differentiate u there. If we differentiate u, it's going to be du over dx. We are differentiating u with respect to x, so it's no longer dy over dx. I hope you can see that, guys. Right? So this is the standard derivative, guys. So if we have 4x, what is the derivative of 4x? This is going to give us 4. I hope you know this. This is a standard derivative. It's very simple and it's straightforward. Now we need to derive now sec u. So we are deriving dy with respect to u. dy with respect to u, right? So this one you don't have to stress too much. You go to your formula sheet. Let's go to the formula sheet and let's see what is the derivative of sec. So if you go to the formula sheet, here's the derivative of sec there. Let me go up so that you can able to see this here. Remember, we have this table there. We have this table on your formula sheet. On top there, it's y on the first column. On the second column, on top there, it's dy over dx. So meaning, if you want the derivative of sec, it's gonna be sec x tan x. So in our problem, instead of x, it's actually u, right? So let's go back. Let's go back, guys. Let's go back. So if you go back, we say the derivative of sec from our formula sheet is gonna be sec u multiplied by tan u. Remember, we don't use x because instead of x there, we have u, right? Then the next step, now I'm gonna use black. The next step, we're gonna use this formula. Let's go back to the formula that I was talking about. I'm gonna use this formula here where we have to find dy over dx. So if you can look at the formula, dy over dx is equaling to dy over du multiplied by du over dx. We already find this on our formula there on our question. So let's go. So it's gonna be dy over dx is equaling to dy over du multiplied by du over dx, right? So all you have to do here is substitute. So what is your du? This one here, du, I mean dy over du. Dy over du is this one here. As you can see, dy over du is equaling to sec u, that's right, sec u, right, multiplied by tan u, multiply. Now we have to find du, we have to substitute du there over dx, right? So du over dx is actually this one here, which is equaling to 4. So we have to multiply this by 4. Right, when it's like this, you're not finished, people. You have to resubstitute u again. So remember, u is equaling to 4x. So your final answer here, let me just create a little bit of space here, guys. Your final answer here is gonna be 4. Let's put 4 this side. Sec 4x multiplied by tan 4x. There we go. That is your final answer. So this was out of 4 marks from the question. So I hope you managed to understand this. I've seen this question before on the final question, on the final question paper. I just don't remember which year. So this question paper, it's relevant, people, just in case you are from Free State in Gauteng and you're not from North, because those colleges are from North, the one that were writing this paper. eh, do not leave the stream because the information is the same, it's relevant. Now, before we continue, did you understand the members? Did you understand Lidwaba? Did you guys understand? I would like to know there on the comment if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, we are moving on to the second question there. So I'm gonna pause the stream and I'm gonna wait for your response there on the live chat. All right, all right. You understood. That's good. Now let's look at 1.2. Now 1.2, I hope you can see it. They want you to expand there. They just wrote expand. And then we have the expression there. We have open bracket 2x plus 4 to the power of half. All this to the power of half. So they want you to expand to at least 4 terms using binomial theorem. So I'm going to highlight here. So they want you to expand to 4 terms using binomial theorem. So guys, again, if you are a member or you've subscribed to this channel, you know that we already done binomial theorem, and I also mentioned that you need to know it by heart. Unfortunately, there is no formula for on the formula sheet. The formula for binomial theorem, it is not there. Let me just show you guys, just in case you do not know. There is no formula uh, for in the formula sheet for binomial theorem. So you need to know it. As you can see here, there's no formula for binomial theorem. So meaning now you have to know it, guys. You have to know it. If you don't know it, then this you're gonna lose this marks. And I always tell people, guys, try to know it, because they always ask this question. Final, they ask it. Uh, common test, they always ask it. If they don't ask it in terms of expansion, they ask it maybe when you solve uh, when you integrate from the first principle with the power of 3 and above. So let me write it. So they want us to expand here. Let me just write it here. We have let me just create more space because this one is going to be long, by the way. So it's 1.2. So 1.2, right? 1.2, they say expand there, right? Expand, right? So what are we expanding? We're expanding the following. We have 2x, right, plus 4, and then we have to the power of 1 over 2, right? Now when you expand, guys, remember the formula. So I always tell people that rather write the formula first, right? Remember the formula is open bracket x plus h to the power of n, right? Now when you expand, they say to the fourth term, the first term is going to be x to the power of n. Then the second term is gonna be n multiplied by x to the power of n minus 1 multiplied by h. There we go. This is multiplication, by the way. And then the third term is gonna get a bit complex, but it's gonna be n multiplied by n minus 1, right? Divide by 2 factorial, right? Multiplied by x to the power of n minus 2h squared, right? That is the third term. And then the fourth term, I have to close the other space, guys. I have to close the other space. So I hope you guys are understanding. Remember, if you're not a member, you cannot comment. You can always like and share the video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, guys. Right. So the third term is gonna be n, right? Multiplied by n minus 1, multiplied by n minus 2 there. And then we divide by that factorial, and then we have x to the power of n minus 3 multiplied by h to the power of 3, right? So this is the formula. I did explain this online. We had online lessons. I did explain how to remember this one, guys, but again, I also have a video where I try to explain this again. You can go to the videos for everyone and then try to watch this. Now look, if you look at our question, remember, here's our question there. I'm going to highlight it there. Okay, there's our question there. Now you must able to see what is x, what is h, what is n there. So I'm going to highlight them with colors again. X, I'm going to highlight with red, right? As you can see, our x there is actually 2x. So you can write it on the side and say x is equaling to 2x, right? And then in green, I'm going to highlight h. As you can see, our h there, our h here, for this one, our h is 4. So we can say h is equaling to 4. And then the last part here, which is our, let me use a different color. Let's use blue. Our last part here, which is our n, it's 1 over 2, 1 over 2. Here's our n there. So you can say n, it's actually 1 over 2. So all you have to do is just substitute these on the formula there, on this formula here. Okay, so let's substitute them. Let me write them here again. We have 2x plus 4, right? So I will need you to use the calculators, members, because this one require a calculator. So let's start with the first term, which is this one, x to the power of n. X to the power of n, we know that x here is actually 2x, right? Here's our x there. Here's our x there is equaling to 2x. Don't forget. As you can see, this 2x is part of our x, meaning our exponent, which is our n there, that n there, right, is going to be affecting the coefficient of x, which is 2x there, right? So it's going to be 1 over 2. Most people, they forget this. They do this, guys. They do this, right? It's wrong. This is wrong. Put brackets. That 2 is part of x. So put brackets there, guys, right? So this was tricky on that part. From there, you just flow. And then we go to the second term. The second term, what do we have there? On the second term, we have n multiplied by x to the power of n minus 1 multiplied by h. So our n, we know that n is 1 over 2 multiplied by x. And then we know that we have n minus 1 as exponent. So n here is half, right? So half minus 1, this is going to give us negative half as exponent there. Multiplied by h. What is our h? Remember our h there, it's actually 4. So don't forget, people also forget h. So you multiply by 4 there. That's our second term. Right, we continue. We go to the third term plus. Now the third term is bit complex. We have n, right? Open bracket, n minus 1 divided by 2 factorial multiplied by x to the power of n minus 2h squared. Right, so we know that n is 1 over 2. So let's put it inside the bracket, 1 over 2, right? Multiplied by n minus 1. We said half minus 1 is actually minus half, guys. Okay, use your calculators there if you do have a calculator, right? And then this is divided by 2 factorial, right? And then we have this part here where we have x to the power of x to the power of n minus 2. So x to the power of n minus 2. I have my calculator with me here. If you say half minus 2, if you say half minus 2, 0.5, right? Minus 2, your answer here is going to be negative 3 over 2. So our exponent here is going to be negative 3 over 2. So I'm going to write negative 3 over 2, right? And then multiply by h squared. But remember, our h is what here? Our h is actually this is, I almost, guys, you see, common mistake. This is what? 2. Common mistake. 2 x to the power of negative 3 over 2. All right, let's be careful of this, guys. It's a very common mistake. So our h here, as we will continue, it's 4 to the power of 2. Let's continue. Right. Thank you to the member. He managed to see this, guys. Right. So let's continue. Right. So now we say plus there. We are done with the second term. Now we do the third term. So we're gonna do the very same thing that we did here, or similar. We have n multiplied by, which is half, multiplied by n minus 1, which is going to be negative 1 over 2, multiplied by n minus 2. We just established that it's going to be negative 3 over 2. There we go. Or also on this one as well. Oh, guys, let's be careful here, guys. Let's be careful here. Okay, let's be very, very careful. I forgot on this one as well. I hope you are still following, guys. Okay, these are common mistake. Okay, I have to be super careful as well here. All right, so you have to be careful here. Right, negative 1 over 2. Thank you to the member there. All right, let me try not to forget this one. We have 2x to the power of, now this is going to be n minus 3 as an exponent for x. So what is n minus 3? I think it's going to give us 5 over 2, negative 5 over 2. But let's see, 0.5 minus 3. It's going to be, yes, negative 5 over 2. So this is going to be negative 5 over 2. All this is divided by the third factorial, right? And then let's not forget h. H is 4 to the power of 3 on our fourth term. Okay, let me zoom down, guys. We don't have enough space. Okay, there we go. So it's gonna be 4 to the power of 3. Okay, let me remove this again. Are we still together? Let's double check. There is our expansion correct? There is our expansion correct? Let's double check, guys. Let's double check. Let me just, yeah, let's double check. So let me highlight them here. This is the first term, right? This one here, first. This one is the second term, right? And that one there is the third term. Okay, and this one here is the fourth term, guys, right? So be very, very careful, guys. Be very careful, especially here on these, right? Don't forget to put 2x inside the bracket. The exponents are actually affecting the 2. I almost forgot the coefficient of x there, this part here. So please do not forget that. Now let's simplify. Like I said, I hope you have your calculators with you, because we need to simplify this. So if you continue, the first term is so simple. You can just write it as 2x to the power of half. For now, just write it like this. Now the second term, if you look at the second term, we have 4 multiplied by half. That is going to give us 2, right? Okay, when I use my calculator, when I punch everything that is highlighted in blue there, I'm getting negative 2 there. But we still multiply by 2x to the power of negative 3 over 2. Now let's do the last term. Again, I'm gonna pause here, guys. Let me highlight on your calculator what you must do. You must punch in everything that is within the blue color there, the blue box there. Put this on your calculator. Everything that is within the blue box, put it inside your calculator, and then whatever you get there, then you multiply by x to the you multiply by 2x to the power of All right, when I put everything there on a calculator, I am getting positive 4 there, right? And then multiply by 2x to the power of negative 5 over 2 there. So this is when we calculated and simplified everything. Please, members, double check for me the terms there, right? Especially these ones here, the coefficient. I mean, double check for me these coefficient, right? But I think they are correct. So from there, rather leave your answers in SADs and positive exponents. So this one here is 2x to the power of half, right? Plus this one is the exponent that is negative there, which is negative half. So we're gonna only be left with the coefficient, which is 2 there that I highlighted in red. And then underneath there, now we're gonna have 2x to the power of half. Now remember, this 2x is gonna go to the numerator and the exponent is gonna change the sign. It's gonna become positive. Just remember that, guys. These are exponents. And then we say minus. And then also here we're gonna be left with 2, right? Over 2x, right, to the power of 3 over 2. As you can see, as 2x, the exponent here changes the sign, becomes positive, right? And then the last one is going to be 4, right, divided by 2x, right, 5 over 2. There we go. Now this is also fine. I think if you leave your answer like this, they won't punish you that much, or they will give you the full marks. But I would say to you, if you have SADs, leave it in SADs. So this, the first term here is going to be root. Remember, the power of half is actually square root. So it's going to be square root um, of 2x there, plus, right? This one's going to be 2 divided by the one on the denominator is also the power of half, the square root of 2x there, minus 2. And then the one on the denominator is also a sad, so it's going to be the root of 2x to the power of 3. I hope you can see this as well, right? And the last one there, this is 5, by the way, guys. It's 5. It's going to be 4, right, divided by 2, oh, root of 2x to the power of 5. Like I said, I've seen something like this again on one of the previous question paper. It's just that I don't remember which question paper was it. But if you do practice on previous question papers, you will see something like this before. Right. So I hope everything is fine, people. As for the members, I would like to hear from you guys. Did you manage to get this? Do you have any questions? Now, before we move on though, I'd like to hear from you whether you have any questions or you are fine. You'd like us to continue. So I'm going to pause the stream and then uh, we do the next. All right, people, we are done with 1.2. Let's look at 1.3. So 1.3, here's our 1.3. Let me highlight it again so that you can able to see it. Here's our 1.3 here. They want us to determine these limits there. So 1.3, its limit, it's actually 3 marks. This one, as you can see, oh, the last one was 4 marks. So we only mark the final answer on the last one there, guys. So let's continue here. Let me create a little bit of space and then let's do these limits here. Right, let me just zoom down a bit, guys. Again, if you want to join this membership, you can go to the join button, join there, so that you can able to also bring a question paper that you like us to solve here, because this is the question paper that was brought by our member, right? So we have limit, right, and then we have x approaches to them, and then on the numerator we have x, we have 2 x squared minus 8 divided by what do we have there, 2x minus 4, right? Now limits, we have done them on this channel. We have videos on limits, the ones that we did, um, they are offline. In fact, we did them offline, they were not live. And we also did the lessons on limits. So just in case you don't know limits, go to the playlist. There is a playlist for limits there. So before we start though, we have 3 methods that we use for limits as for this level, right? One of the methods is direct substitution. So direct substitution is wherever there is x, you substitute with 2, right? So let's do it. We have 2 there. We have 2. Remember, wherever there's x, substitute with 2. 2 to the power of 2 minus 8 there. Divide by, right? This one you have 2. Wherever there's x, substitute with 2 and minus 2. As you can see, this on the numerator we have 2 multiply by 2 to the power of 2, that is going to give us 8 minus 8, that is going to be 0. And divide by, we have 2 multiplied by 2, that is 4 minus 4, that is going to give us 0. So 0 over 0, this is going to give us infinity. So guys, the first step is direct substitution. If direct substitution gives you infinity like this, you can try to do the second step. You can do the second step. Now, the second step, guys, is simplification. Now let's look at our equation here. Don't get confused, guys. Let me just highlight it with blue. This is our equation. If you look at our expression there, can we able to simplify it? When I look at it, I can see that we can able to simplify it or factorize it. So let's continue. We have limit, right? X approaches to them. If you look at our numerator, we have 2x squared minus 8. We can take out a common factor there. We have a common factor, guys, which is 2 there. Inside there, you're going to be left with x squared minus 4, right? There we go. And then on our denominator, we also have a common factor, which is 2. And then we left with x minus 2. There we go. Now, we know that x, 2, and 2, they will divide each other. So we left with only x squared minus 4. This here, guys, this here is actually difference of 2 squares on the numerator. X squared minus 4, you can write it as x plus 2. Difference of 2 squares, guys. This is grade 12 work, grade 9, right? So x plus 2, x minus 2 is the same as x squared minus 4. And then underneath there, we left with x minus 2, right? As you can see, x minus 2 divided by x minus 2, we're going to only be left with the following. Let me just continue underneath there. X approaches 2. We're left with only x plus 2. Now that it is simplified, we can do direct substitution again. So when you do direct substitution, wherever there is x, we're going to put 2. So it's going to be 2 plus 2. This is going to give us 4. There is our answer there. Yeah, this one was not that difficult, guys. These are type of questions that when you do them, you avoiding 0. To be honest, these are the types of questions that we bring so that you don't come back with 0, guys. Just in case you are clueless. I hope you understood, though. I hope you understood, because limits, people are having problems with limits. I've made videos on limits, guys. I also have lessons on limits where I explain further because I'm interacting with members, right? So I'm gonna pause here. So let me know in the comments, members, that you want some explanation or you are good to go. If you want us to continue, let me know that we continue. If you have a question, raise a question on the chat. So I'm pausing here this stream for now. All right, you guys understood this. So we are continuing, guys. Now we have to do 1.4. Now 1.4, guys, it's actually a polynomial. We have this question here. Let me highlight. Now here we need to differentiate with respect to x. We're differentiating this one here. This is a polynomial, guys. Polynomial. So I've also have done videos on differentiating polynomials. You can go to the playlist, you will see them there. Also, I've made videos on each and every differentiation that you need to know on n form. So I'm gonna create space here. So we did this differentiations on a online class for the members. I hope members managed to see that videos or they were present. Right, so let's continue. We have y, right? Let me just rewrite it here. We have 3 log base 3x. Then we have minus cos, right? Is it cot or cot 2x? and then we have plus. Let me just create a little bit of space here. This one, guys, I need you to brace yourself because it's way too long. I'm gonna show you again how to use the formula sheet, because we're gonna use your formula sheet a lot, right? We have 3 over e to the power of negative x. We have plus 7x squared. It is way too long, guys. Out of 6 marks, it makes sense, right? Then we have negative 2 ln, right? Ln x. And then the last one, we have plus sine. Let's create space again, people. Let's create space. I think we have sine 2x divided by cos x. Right. Okay. If you want this question paper, I shared this question paper with the members only, guys. You just have to crop this video. I don't know how you're gonna do this, or copy these questions, right? Well, this is for the members only. So you guys, if you're not a member, at least you can watch as we are solving this, right? If you want to join the membership, click the membership button there on the bottom, right? If you can't, you can subscribe. It's all good. Let's double check. The first term is 3 log base 3x minus cot 2x plus 3 over e to the power of negative x plus 7 over x squared minus ln x minus 2 ln x, yes, plus sine 2x over x, right? This one here, guys, it will really require you to work. You need to know your trigonometry, you need to know your simplification. So let me just create a space here. Now, before you start integrating, guys, before you start differentiating, make sure that each and every term, it is simplified enough for you to differentiate. Let's start with the first term. You don't differentiate when you are simplifying, guys. Don't do dy over dx. When you're simplifying, it's equaling to y, right? So the first term, it is simplified, right? We have 3 log base 3. This is simplified. It's okay. Don't do nothing. The second term, it's a trigonometric ratio. It's cot 2x. It's also simplified here, right? Cot 2x, not cos, cot 2x, right? It is also simplified. The third term, which is 3 over e to the power of negative x, it needs to be simplified. You cannot differentiate with x on the denominator, whether it's an exponent or is the base. You cannot. So you need to take that e, which is the base of negative x, to the numerator. So first of all, we have 3 there on the numerator. If we take this e to the top there, if we take e to the numerator, it's gonna be e to the power of x. The sign changes, become positive as the exponent there. Again, let's look at the fourth term, this one here. You cannot differentiate with x to the power of 2 on the denominator. You need to take it to the numerator, guys. You need to take it to the numerator. So we also have 7 as a coefficient. Then if we take this x to the power of 2 to the numerator, our exponent is going to be negative 2. And then this one here, which is the second last term, 2 ln x, it's fine. No simplification required. Then let's look at the last term. The last term is tricky if you don't know the double angle identity. This one here, sine 2x, is a double angle identity for sine. On this video, I already done those things, the double angle identities, on live lessons, and also we have videos where I actually derive these double angle identities. So what you need to do here, the sine double angle identity, it is not there on the formula sheet. You need to know it. So for the one for cos as well, they are not there. You need to know it. So this is 2 sine x multiplied by cos x. Don't forget, this is divided by cos x, right? So like I said, this is gonna be one of the longest questions, so you have to brace yourself, right? So the first term, we are fine. Now it is simplified as well. It's been simplified. We are not yet differentiating, people. We are simplifying, right? So we have the second term, we have cot 2x. The third term, remember we simplified it, don't differentiate. Yes, we have 3 e to the power of x. The fourth term with 7 x to the power of negative 2. And then I think this is the fifth term, we have 2 ln x. Then the last term there, we have to simplify. We have cos divided by cos, it's gonna give you 1. Then you're gonna only be left with 2 sine x. Most people here, they forget these double angle identities. Guys, make sure you know them. Now that every term that you see here, it is simplified, it's time for us to differentiate. That's when you're gonna start doing this dy over dx, because everything here, it is simplified. Now the first term, you need to know what type of differentiation is this one. It's very simple. It's a standard log, guys. It's a standard log. Unfortunately, on your formula sheet, there is no differentiation for a standard log, especially on your final. I don't know about this question paper, but let's go and check the formula sheet for standard log. If you check the differentiation, there's nothing there, guys. As you can see here, there's nothing. We have exponent, we have also, what is this? Is this yeah, we have the this one is not exponent, by the way. This is a standard. We have exponent, we have natural log, which is ln, not the standard log. We have the trigonometric ratios there. There is no standard log here. There is no log. Do you guys see? There's no log on the formula sheet. So you need to know it, right? You need to know it. So if you are part of this stream again, a membership, I already told them which one is it. I hope you guys managed to watch this on online. I had a lesson about this, but I also have a video where I explain this. So it's very simple, guys. When you have log, here's the formula. When you have y is equaling to, let's say, k, right, the coefficient of log, and then we have log the base, let's say the base is a there, and then we have x there, and then we have n as the exponent. The derivative, I mean the differentiation, guys. Hey, please forgive me, excuse me for saying derivative, guys. I was busy with derivative recently. So we it's gonna be like this. The Yeah, the derivative of this is gonna be n, right, multiplied by k, right, divide by, right, n, which is the coefficient, k is the exponent of x, then divide by x, right, ln, and then base. Our base is a there. I hope you can see that. Now let's go back to our question. Then let's use this formula. Let's what is this? Let's just substitute them. This one here, 3, is a coefficient, so it's more like k, so it's gonna be k, and then n is the exponent of x, it's 1 there. So if you do this, it's gonna be k multiplied by 1, it's gonna be 3 multiplied by 1, it's gonna be just 3, divide by, and then we have x, and then we have ln, right, and then the base here, which is 3, right. So this is the differentiation of the first term. Right, we are done. I hope you understood, guys. If you don't understand, you can go and watch this video where I explain this, and the lessons as well, where I explain to the student. Now let's look at the second term. We have negative cot 2x. Before we go there, we go to the formula sheet. Let's go to the formula sheet. Right, here's our formula sheet. What is the, let me erase this because already I've done a lot of things here. What is the differentiation of cot, guys? Right, let me erase it. It's a problem. All right, let's see. The differentiation of cot is this one here, guys. Right, cot is this one here. Do you see? Is this one? It's supposed to be negative. It's supposed to be negative cosec squared. But look at the cot that we have there. Let's go back to the question. The cot that we have, it has the coefficient of x there, which is 2. Now I'm gonna show you again how to deal with this one. I hope you are ready. So when you are integrate we are differentiating, I mean, when you are differentiating, right, first of all we have negative, that negative, you always, right, you always multiply by the coefficient of x, which is going to be 2 there. So we're going to have 2 multiplied by negative the differentiation of cot. What is the differentiation of cot? We just saw there it's negative cosec squared. But you're also going to write 2x. Remember this 2x there? It's also going to write it as it is, then close bracket. Guys, when you differentiate, you multiply by the coefficient of x. People tend to forget this 2 here. Let me highlight it with red so that you can see. This 2 here, they forget it. This is the same 2. They forget it. You multiply by it, you differentiate, them. Remember the differential of cot is negative cosec, right, squared. Then you multiply, then you write 2x there because our angle is 2x, right? I hope you guys understand. I hope you guys understand. If you don't, you can go online and check. You can go and check on the videos there. I've made the videos are based on this. Now let's look at this term here, which is the third term. Now, be very careful. People tend not to remember what type of differentiation is this. Look, when x is the exponent, as you can see, x is the exponent there. This means it's an exponential differentiation. Now, you can go to your formula sheet. Let's go to our formula sheet. For exponential is this one, guys. Do you guys see this? This is exponential there, right? But some things are missing on our formula sheet. So I'm going to write the one that I taught people. When you have y is equaling to k, right, which is a the base, right, and then we have n the coefficient of x. When you differentiate this, right, when you differentiate this is gonna be n, right, the exponent of the coefficient of x, I mean, multiplied by k, right, the coefficient of the base multiplied by the base to the power of nx, then multiplied by ln base a, or ln the base there. That's how you differentiate this one. So let's look at our term there. We have plus there, guys, right? We have the coefficient of the base, which is 3. So you're going to write 3 there. And then you have the coefficient of x, which is 1. So even if you multiply by 1, it's fine there. Even if you don't write it, it's fine. Then you multiply by the base, which is e to the power of x. You guys see? And then multiply by ln, and then the base here is still e. Then you are done. Then we move to another one. Now, this one here, people confuse this one for exponent. This term here, it is not exponential differentiation, because this time around our x is what? Is the base. I hope you can see the difference. Our x is the base. It's the standard differentiation. This one, our x is the exponent, is the exponential differentiation. So I hope you can see the difference. Like I said, this here, it's gonna take long because I want you guys to understand when you go and write your final exam. The standard differentiation, guys, is the one where we use this formula here on your formula sheet. Let me just go to the formula sheet. On your formula sheet is this one here, guys. It's the first one there. Remember this? It is this one here. Okay. Now let's go and write the formula there. In fact, the formula there on the formula sheet is correct. You have y is equaling to k, the coefficient of the base, and then we have x to the power of n, right, minus 1. Oh, no. Why am I saying minus 1? Like this. And then when we differentiate, we know this, guys. It's going to be what? It's going to be n multiplied by k. And then we have x n minus 1. We know this. We've done this metric, guys. Right. So our n there is going to be negative 2. So we have to multiply by negative 2, which is the exponent, guys. Hope you can see. Multiply by 7, the coefficient of x there, which is k in this case. And then we have x, and then we have negative 2 minus 1. Then we are done with that term. Now it's time for us to do the one of ln there. Guys, this one is so simple. If you go to your formula sheet, let's go to the formula sheet. I'm not going to do it there next to the question. It's just straightforward. We have k, the coefficient of ln x, and then when you differentiate, it's going to be k over x. Okay, so let's go back. So what is our k there? Our k, it's negative 2. So you have to multiply by -2, and then we divide by x. That's it. Simple, straightforward. You just use the formula, guys. Use the formula. -2 is k over x, right? And then the last one, plus we have the trigonometric ratio. Again, this one here, I never mentioned. How do you identify it? You just see ln there. If you see ln, it's the natural log differentiation. Nothing more, nothing less. Now let's look at this one here. We have 2 sine x. Guys, 2 is a coefficient. So when you differentiate this, let's go to the formula sheet. When you go to the formula sheet, the differentiation of sine is what? It's cos. Do you guys see? It's cos, right? So let's go to our formula. Let's go to our question. So we have 2. 2 is the coefficient, and then the differentiation of sine is going to be cos x. We don't have the coefficient. Okay, the coefficient of x is 1. So you multiply 2 with 1, it's going to be 2. And now don't leave your answer like this, because sometimes they need to be simplified. So let's start with the first term. The first term is fine. You don't simplify it, you write it as it is, 3 over x ln 3. The second term we have negative multiplied by 2 multiplied by negative cos x squared 2x, right? So this is going to be positive because we have negative there, and 2, then cosec squared 2x. There we go. And then plus the third term, we have 3 multiplied by e to the power of x, right? You write it 3 multiplied by e to the power of x. Guys, this here is equaling to 1. Don't write it. Ln e, guys, is equaling to 1. Leave it like that, right? Then you continue. You go to the fourth term. The fourth term, you have negative 2 multiplied by 7. What is negative 2 multiplied by 7? This is going to give us 14, right? Negative 14, in fact. And then on the exponent there, we have negative 2 minus 1. So the exponent we have there is going to be negative 3, right? And then we go to the second last. This one is simplified. It's negative 2 over x. And the last one, which is going to be 2 cos x plus c. Guys, this is your final answer. Now, remember, I said to you, don't leave your answer with a negative exponent. Unfortunately, you'll have to rewrite everything here, right? Or you can skip the second stage, the second step, and just write everything like this, right? Plus 3 e to the power of x. This term here, it has negative exponent there, so you must have 4 divided by x to the power of 3. Remember, if you take the base to the denominator, it's going to be x to the power of 3 minus 2x minus 2 over x plus 2 cos x plus c. That is our final answer, guys. This is out of 6 marks, so it's a very long question. This one here, guys, this type of questions, make sure you know them, make sure you understand them. There is no way. They are always there on the final. They might not come exactly like this, but it's always there. And the trick here, they can say differentiate with respect to y. When they say differentiate with respect to y, instead of having this x's here, we have y's. And then instead of having dy over dx, it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be dx over dy. Just in case you come across that problem there. Right. So I'm going to pause here. Then I will hear from the members. Are you having questions, or shall we continue? All right. Oh, I put plus C there, guys. Oh, we are differentiating. There is no plus C. There's no plus C. Guys, we're differentiating. I'm confusing differentiation with integration. Oh, guys, there's no plus C there. Please don't put plus C on this one. Okay, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. All right. But I hope you guys understood this, though. I hope you understood. Um, There's no plus C there. Please, people, get rid of that plus C. But anyway, everything is fine the way it is right now. So let's do the next question. I think you guys understood now, right? So let's do the next question. Let me erase this and let's look at the next question. All right, people. Sorry about that. We have to do 1.5 there, people. 1.5. Now 1.5 is the question. This is what they want us to do. They say differentiate the following using quotient rule. Now, quotient rule, we never done it on the live stream. So if you know that you're a member, please try to pay attention here. But I also have done it offline though, the quotient rule. So just in case you want to watch it on the older videos, you can go to the playlist. You will see the quotient rule there. Now let's look at 1.5. Now let me zoom down here so that we can have space there. Now quotient rule, guys, there is a formula for quotient rule and we have to be very, very careful. Let me just write the question here. First of all, we have y is equaling to ln x, right, divided by a sec x. This question paper, they really liked sec x, but well, they did like it. So anyway, so the quotient rule, let's go to the formula sheet. Let me show you how does the quotient rule look like. Here's the formula for quotient rule. Let me use a different color here. Let me use a different color. Stripe blue. Stripe blue. This part here, this part here is for quotient rule, right? When you have the one on top there on the numerator, in this case they said is du over is it's actually ux over v of x, right? I prefer to use f of x and g of x, but it's up to you. Then when you look at this formula, the formula states that you must derive u and leave v, and then minus, and then you leave u and you derive v, and then you square the denominator there, which is v. So you can use that formula. It's the same thing with what I'm about to do here. So here's what I do. I rather call the one on the numerator f of x, right? And then divide by the one on the denominator, I call it g of x. There we go. Then from there, when you differentiate using quotient rule, your dy over dx, here's the formula there, you derive f of x. You're gonna have f of x prime, the one on the numerator, you multiply it by g of x. Guys, this is how you're supposed to do it. Don't swap them. Don't swap them, right? And then always there's minus there. And this time around, you leave f of x, the one on the numerator, and you derive g of x prime. There, you derive on the second term of the numerator, you leave f of x, you derive g of x. Don't swap these, guys. Don't swap these. And then you divide by g of x, then you square it. That's how exactly you're supposed to do it. This is the formula that you're supposed to use. It's the same formula on your formula sheet, just in case you don't understand it. Now let's look at our f of x. We said f of x, it's ln. As you can see, f of x, it's ln there, right? So what is the derivative of ln? Dy over dx. What is the derivative of ln? Because our formula said we must derive f of x, which is ln there. We know that ln is 1 over x. It is there on your formula sheet, guys. You don't have to stress yourself. Multiply by what is our g of x? This one here, which is the one on the bottom there, which is what? Sec. So you multiply this by sec x. That's it. And then you minus there, right? And then when you minus this time around, you leave f of x, which is ln. You don't derive it, you leave it. So you write ln there, x. Then you multiply by the derivative of g of x, which is going to be sec. Again, we did sec before on the formula sheet. Sec, here's our sec there. Sec is the same as sec x tan x when you derive it, right? So let's continue. This is going to be multiplied by sec x multiplied by tan x. All this is divided by, now look at this. The formula says u square g of x. So g of x, which is our sec x, then you square it. That's it, people. Don't simplify it further. Usually this is what we want. Leave it like this, unless they say simplify, but usually we just want to see if you can able to use this equation here, and you can able to see whether this is a quotient rule. So guys, when you do the quotient rule, there is a common mistake. People, they swap these. They start by deriving, they derive g of x first, and then they leave f of x there. Guys, is wrong. Always derive the one on the numerator on this term here, which is f of x in our case, right? And then you leave g of x, and then minus, always it's minus, and then this time around you leave f of x, you derive g of x, right? And then you divide by g of x squared, right? Always. So this is how you do this one, guys. There's nothing to it. There's nothing to it, right? Guys, are we fine here? Members, do you have any questions? So let me pause this, let me erase this part. If you don't have questions, we're gonna do the last one. This one is very long, so yeah, we need some time. So let me pause this, and then if you have questions, ask. If you are fine, let's look at 1.6. I mean, this one as well, guys. They love it. See, this question paper, in fact, it's a good question paper to practice for final, because it has almost every question that they would like to ask on the final question papers. They love this one. 1.6, you are given the function y is equaling to 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus 2x minus 6. Now here, they want you to do the following. They want you to calculate with an aid of differentiation the coordinates of the turning point. So you need to find x and y of the turning point, right? And then the point of inflation. You also need to find the point of inflation there. And then you distinguish between the turning point. This question here, that line, the last line there, distinguishing between the turning point. They want to know which one is maximum and which one is minimum, right? That's basically what they're asking for. So these are free marks, people. I need you to pay attention. If you are doing this for the first time, I need you to pay attention. No graph is required to be drawn here. Usually they don't want you to draw the graph, and it has lots and lots of marks, right? Okay, but anyway, let's go and create a little bit of space here. Okay, if you don't have a question paper, guys, you can ask people from Vhembe and Capricorn to send you. I think they have these question papers. Okay, if you don't, well, I already sent it to the members. So those are the perks of being a member, guys. You just copy it, okay, screenshot it, take a picture, something of that sort. But anyway, look, we have our question here with our cubic function there. We have 3x to the power of 3, and then we have 4x to the power of 2. We have plus 2x, we have minus 6. Now they want us to find the coordinates of the turning point. Okay, let me just close this. Let's start by finding the coordinates of the turning point. Guys, when you find the turning point, the first thing that you must do, remember this is a cubic graph. Let me just show you a cubic graph. A cubic graph looks like this, right? Something of this sort. It has this turning point here. We can call it TP1. It has the turning point there. You can call it TP2. Just know the shape. You don't really need to know how to draw the graph here on this question. We're not going to draw the graph. So they want you to find the x and y x and y of this point. Basically, that's what they're asking you to do there without drawing a graph. So let me erase this. I hope you understand. Now, the first thing that you do when you're seeking for the turning point coordinates, you derive this. So you derive this dy over dx, but this derivative is also equaling to 0. So let's derive the first term then. If you derive, by the way, this is a standard derivative, guys, right? If you derive the first term there, it's going to be 3 multiplied by 3. That is going to be 9x squared, right? The second term is going to be negative 4 multiplied by 2. This is going to be negative 8x. And then the last term is going to be 2x. I mean, it's going to be positive 2. And then the last term, which is a constant, this one here, it's 0. Don't include it, guys. Remember, when you derive the constant, it's going to be 0. Now, if you look at this now, we have a trinomial. Let me rewrite it in the right manner. It's 9x squared minus 8x plus 2. This is a trinomial. All this is equaling to 0. Guys, the derivative is equaling to 0. Now, we need to find the factors here. Let me see if you can find the factors. If you cannot find the factors, use the quadratic formula. Let me see if you can find the factors here, guys, right? the factors of 9 is 9 and 1, right? Right. Then the factors of 2, when we multiply, when you add them, they're gonna give us, it's not gonna work, guys. It is not gonna work. We need to use the quadratic formula. I just saw this, it's not gonna work. So let's use the quadratic formula. Right. This is too long. Right, so we have x is equaling to negative b. I will need you guys to use your calculators. Members, please use your calculators. I'll try as well to use my calculator here, but I will really appreciate it when you do that. So the quadratic formula is like this. I think you know it. I don't know if it's there on your formula sheet, guys, but you must know this. If you don't know this, how did you pass your matric? Okay, right. So the coefficient of x squared is a, right? The coefficient of x is b. The constant is c. So there's b, a, and c that you see on this equation here. There are those coefficients there. So you start substituting, guys. You start substitute. Let's substitute. So our b, which is this one, the coefficient of x, is gonna be, according to our formula, we have negative b there, but it's gonna be negative as well because 8 is negative. That's our b there, right? Plus or minus. Then we continue like that. And then we have negative 8 squared minus 4. And then our a is the coefficient of x squared, which is going to be 9. And then our c is positive 2, right? And then we divide them. Okay, we divide with 2 multiplied by a, which is 9 there. So like I said, guys, if you have if you have a question, please let me know. Right, on the comments though, I'm reading your comment. Dwaba said this question is an error. Is it? Is it, Lidwaba? Let's see. If it says an error, then we cannot continue with it. Right? Unfortunately, and I was really hoping to do this one. But let's just see. All right. If it's an error, what we have inside there shouldn't be giving us shouldn't be giving us a negative inside there. Okay, let's see. Is it an error? Oh, yes, it is an error, guys. Okay, we can't continue with this question. It's an error because what we have here inside the square root, let me just show you. Okay, unfortunately, guys, we can't continue with this question. What we have here is gonna give us negative in there. Let me just do it without putting it inside the square root. We have negative 8 squared, right? Minus 4 multiplied by a and then 2 there. Yes, this give us negative 8, guys. Except when we are doing, look, this is an error, guys, right? This is an error. When you are doing let me clarify this. When you are doing differentiation, or this part of differentiation, because this is a second derivative, by the way, and you have such things, it's an error. Don't continue. You're wasting your time. But when you are doing complex numbers, when you're doing chapter 2, I think it's module 2, and you come across this, it's not an error, guys. Name, it's not an error, right? It's not an error. You have to continue. But because we are doing chapter, I don't know which books are you guys using, but let me just say, because we are doing this calculus and limits, this part here is an error, right? So let's not continue. We're wasting our time, right? We are wasting our time. Remember, the square root of negative is error. But if we are doing complex numbers, you can do this, guys. This is the same as 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by negative 1, right? And then we know the square root of 4 is going to be 2. The square root of 2 is 2. The square root of negative 1, we said it's imaginary number. So this is actually imaginary number. I think this person took this question based on imaginary numbers, but we're not dealing with imaginary numbers. I'm just saying, if you are come across something like this and you're doing complex numbers, this is how you solve it, guys. Then, but if you're not doing complex numbers, we are doing differentiation, it's an error. Leave it, can continue. Unfortunately, guys, we have to stop here. This is question 2. I assume while you guys were writing this question paper, they did compensate you this 8 marks because it was an error. I think somehow there's a mistake that they did there. I think the coefficient of x cubed, maybe it was supposed to be 2. I'm sure it was supposed to be 2, right? But anyway, people, I hope you understood the other questions. 1.6, we leave it. Maybe I will try to come with a question that is not an error. I will take from the previous question paper when we continue tomorrow with question 2. So tomorrow we're gonna continue and do question 2, which is integration. Guys, as much as I'm teaching here, integration and differentiation, they will confuse you. They also confuse me. I have to practice over and over again for me not to be that confused. So tomorrow I'm gonna post on the group, also on the Facebook channels or Facebook groups, but they don't approve my posts, guys. So but I'm gonna post on a WhatsApp group and also for members when exactly we're gonna start. So as for the members, you can able to watch this video just in case you wanna re-watch again. If you're not a member, you cannot watch the video, guys. You have to join the membership. So you're watching it for the last time. All right. You can always subscribe to the channel and join the membership if you want to. If you have a question that you would like us to try, join the membership. You join the group on WhatsApp, and then you can share your question. Then we're gonna try it online here live. All right, people. I hope you managed to understand this. Tomorrow we're gonna do question 2. I'm gonna post the video on the WhatsApp group there.